Host. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone is doing well. The spring has come. I'm so excited about spring. Beautiful weather, birds chirping in the morning, weather, sun shining makes everything better. Feedback. What is that? Hmm,
Sorry, that was me.
okay. We going Hector style this morning, y'all. I'm excited. This is one of the ways that Hector Lamarck talks about training. He talks about what he did the previous week on Saturday training. Excited for Jen to tell us, what she did personally. Very exciting. Jen is killing it right now. She showed me her schedule, booked out hour after hour after hour until 10, 11 o'clock at night. When you're on a run to go regional vice president, when you're on a run to get the ring, when you're on a run to go senior vice president, ownership, to become FI, financially independent, that is what you want. All right. So, Jen, take us away. It's on you.
Morning, guys. What's up? Happy Saturday. All right. So, me and Shay, we talk very briefly, and we every week we try to come up with training that is very valuable as much as possible for your guys' time, because this is an hour of all of our time that we could be doing other things. So we appreciate everyone getting on here. Um, One of the things that Daniel Alonso said, who follows Hector very well too. He came as a special guest to a fast start school, if you guys still remember what that is. he he says that we need to train also on what we did throughout the week. And Shaq told me just weeks ago, you need to train people on what you do as far as getting referrals, specifically when he told me that. So I feel like a lot of us, right or wrong here, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of us, we hear our leaders train, but we still question, like, how does that look like what did the steps look like what did you say, like how did you get that person, right? So this right here is more so going to be a skill issue conversation, not a will issue. If you have a will issue, this training is not going to help you, because if you're not willing to pick up the phone, you're not going to get anything done, and you don't close the appointments you don't set, right? You want to set yourself on fire so people can see you burn. When I was thinking, when I adapted the closing mentality coming in, matter of fact, just making sure that I had a standard in my mind from cheerleading and transfer that mentality over here. I had a I had already seen 40 people make it to the cheer squad, and then by the end of the year, 16 to 20 people left. 50% or more quit by the end of the year. And when I see that people come into the team and then they quit all of a sudden, I want to make sure that people still see us, burn, and still see us set ourselves on fire, and see us build it and build it and build it, because so many people are waiting for you guys to quit. So many people have said no to your opportunity, to you, because they don't believe in you. It's not just they don't believe in themselves, they don't believe in you. You should take that personally. So go ahead and set yourself on fire. Then you, over time, you start to earn credibility by leading from the front, not just for your team, but also people that are watching you on social media, which I'll talk about soon. And when you think about how, the leaders are closing, sometimes it can intimidate us, where we're thinking, wow, how can I be just as good as her or him? Like they close every day, they must be really lucky. No, no, no. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. We have prepared to close by making sure we close every single day. ABC of Primerica, always be closing. If you adopt that mentality, if we all adopt that mentality as a hierarchy, where could our hierarchy go? Shaq would be way past $1 million by now, right? But right now, only 20% of us or less are actually adapting that mentality, and owning that mentality, and owning that responsibility. One of the things that Shaq is really honing on, and that I'm selling to our team really hard, is win the day. Win the day. Jackie Ashford came on to our Zoom as a special guest, and she talked about how she was selling to her team, win the day, win the day. And Hector said it doesn't matter if you're in the kitchen table or not, or qualified appointment or not, you're always going to be selling something. You're always promoting something. You're promoting every single thing, from you on social media to you trying to close that app or that IBA. Everything is a promotion, because if it's just you and you don't have anybody working, it's just you. It's just you. And yesterday, one of the things that Brian said from home office, he said that if you don't have an office manager, you are the office manager. Well, if you don't have a leader on your team yet under you, you are the leader. You're the main leader. You're the only leader, right? You got to lead from the front by winning the day first, by getting an IBA or a recruit. Or if you're not there yet, where you can get consistent results skill wise every single day, well, then maybe your pipeline isn't there, but build your pipeline by doing a combination of two of these. 10 webinar invites, sorry for the typo, 10 webinar invites, 10 animated video set, 2 follow-ups done, 1 prospect, okay? Just 1 prospect, not 10 prospects, 1 number, 1 name and number, or 1 QA done, actually done. And you can't do QAs without setting them first. And on this, it should say 5 QA set. Sorry, guys, I missed the 5 QA set. So you should write that down, 5 QA set on that as well. And I'll fix that so that before we upload this to the drive. But how hard is it to get 1 prospect, guys? Send 10 text messages out with the animated video. Get 1 QA done or set 5. How hard is that really? If people say, oh, I'm not able to get a recruit or an IBA every day, well, can you pick up the phone? Can you pick up the phone and text 10 people? Of course you can. How hard is it to do that, right? The only reason why most people are not winning the day because they don't want to win the day. But until you want to win the day, your team's not going to want to win either. And by winning the day every single day, that's how you build an environment. You can either be a thermostat or a thermometer. What's a thermometer? Cheryl, what's a thermometer?
It's the device that tells you what temperature it is.
Right. It takes the temperature of the room. What's a thermostat? Anybody know what a thermostat is? Donald? Did I not see Donald on here? Maybe I saw Mama V. Mama V, what's a thermostat?
A thermostat is a device that gauges the temperature and you can set it.
You set the temperature, exactly. So you can be either a thermostat of your environment or a thermometer, right? The thermometer, they react to the environment. They're just following, they're not leading. Leaders are the one that set the tone of the environment, right? What kind of tone, what kind of vision are you setting for your team? By your example. Does your example say, follow me or avoid me? And last but not least, our crusade. We got to bring this back, guys. We got to keep talking about this. The crusade is what's going to attract a lot of the relational people, right? Don't forget about STAR, the personality traits, right? When you talk to an R, they don't care about the money first. Yes, they want to make money, but they want to know they're doing the right thing. Let's sell on the crusade, buy, term, and invest. So as I go through all of the closes that I got before Shay goes into her awesome closes and the team's closes that she helped with, I'm going to touch on a lot of these here. So just pay attention. So the beginning of the week, I got a $73 app. This was a personal prospect of mine. So this was from social media. I got back on Facebook. I'm not really on Facebook like that. My account is active, but I don't really scroll through Facebook on hours at a time. I just go on there and I post every once in a while. But I post for me and I post for the people that, I haven't recruited yet, honestly. I want to make sure that I can attract somebody because people are nosy, right? If you catch yourself very sparingly scrolling down social media, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever, look at all the other people that are more average and ordinary, that don't have the goals and dreams, don't have the job, don't have the opportunity that can get into their goals and dreams. What are they doing after 9 to 5, right? They're going on Facebook. They're going on social media. They're scrolling 10 times more than you are. So they're being nosy, not on purpose, but they're being nosy. They're just watching people, right? So might as well post so that they can see what you're posting. So this is what I did. I went on Canva, this app Canva. Again, this is, I got this Canva app idea from one of the special guests that was making $80,000 part-time. You guys probably remember, I think it was Clarissa Flemings. I'm gonna ask you guys to mute yourself. Thank you. So Canva is a really great app. When you go on here, you can create a design, right? And all my designs, you can look here. So, I put all of this, Jay, you see yourself. So I go through Canva to make sure that I can create promotions for our business. people like looking at that stuff. So I posted a flyer that it was let me show you guys again what that flyer looked like. I made this flyer recently and I posted it on Facebook and Instagram. Now, when I post, I don't expect a result. I don't expect most of my results to come from posts, okay? Because that's a really passive way to prospect, right? I don't want to depend on passive ways of prospecting. What do I mean? If I send out 10 messages, I don't expect 10 people to respond. If I send out a post, I'm not going to expect that post to generate a result yet, but I'm prepared to get the result, right? That's how luck happens. So, you know, all these pieces, those are separate pieces that you just add, right? So I'm not going to go over training of Canva, but I did that. Post great news only on social media. So this personal prospect of mine, she hit me up, and I didn't remember who she was, Shay. I was like, oh, I swear to God, I've seen this name before. I keep mixing her up with somebody else. And she was like, I'm ready. And I'm like, ready for what? That was like my exact response, because she's been liking all my posts recently. And I'm like, okay, I must know her. I don't know where I know her from. And I was like, ready for what? And she goes, I'm ready to do life insurance. I'm like, oh, okay. What made you get ready now? Be ready now. And she goes, I've just seen so many GoFundMe's recently in the past year, and I'm just tired of seeing people get killed, right? And it's real, right? So I went ahead, got her phone number. Okay, very important. Get the person's phone number. Don't try to set an appointment via text message, right? A lot of us hide behind our messaging and we don't pick up the phone. We forget that the best way to book somebody versus in person is to get on the phone with them, not via text message, right? Find out what the person wants to meet for. I found out that she wanted to meet for life insurance, but I still asked her, is there anything else you want to talk about, or is it just life insurance? Because I specialize in investments as well. Oh, just life insurance. Great. Because then I can just go in, cut to the chase, and go straight into closing with buy term and invest the difference. So one of the pieces of the presentation that I love to go over all the time is an old school presentation called buy term and invest, called theory of decreasing responsibility, right? If you're relatively new, less than 90 days in, you should be learning this. Really, the first week you should be learning this if you're on QAs, and you should be on QAs. And if you're a trainer, your person should be on a QA within their first, 24 to 48 hours a week, definitely. But this is the theory of decreasing responsibility, where it overcomes the whole life objection, right? I went straight into life insurance with her after showing who we are, what we do. And once we're talking, Shay, come to find out, I prospected this person a year ago. I invited her to the webinar. She no-showed the webinar and ghosted me, right? Her mom had COVID and she just ghosted me and everyone else. I don't know. I mean, I didn't take it personally. I forgot about her. You got to prospect so much you forget about each individual, not purposely, but you don't want to be stuck on one person. But think about what I just said. Over the past year, after she ghosted me, she's still watching my social media, and now she prospected herself as a client. Okay. Now, the other $73 app that I got was a field training appointment. I recruited a referral client named Destiny. Destiny took me on an appointment. So I've been learning from Shay a lot. I've been learning from the other leaders a lot, how to recruit over the kitchen table, how to recruit over the QA, because clients are 50% recruited. So I've been really working and focusing on my weakness, which was recruiting clients. Now it's becoming a strength because I want to get everything in the kitchen table. Now I'm throwing the opportunity to every single client, knowing that some will say yes, some will say no, whatever, so what, keep going. Recruited Destiny. Destiny did her fast start meeting with me, and she three-way texted the character reference text to her cousin. I called her cousin within the next day. We set a QA for the next 2 days. Okay, everything within 48 hours. Everything within 48 hours. The QA was a single mother of one, her cousin, and she didn't have any insurance that she thought of. She had group insurance, and I let Destiny present the first 2 pages. I found out that it's much simpler, in my opinion, I believe, that the QA, the character reference, the QA hears the trainee more. If I can teach the trainee how to present more and I can present less, then the person is listening more. They're more attentive to the presentation. The person we're presenting to is more attentive because they're there to help the trainee. So if I can let the trainee present the first 2 pages, then it helps me close for the trainee. So that was a $73 rack. The personal prospect I got became an IBA this week. So I got it also a 2 directs this week. The first direct, I took my investment client to lunch. That's not the person I recruited. I just followed up with the client and he wanted to invest another couple thousand in his investment. So I said, hey, why don't we just grab lunch, right? He's a friend of mine. So, you know, sometimes I take some clients, sometimes I don't. But this one was a friend of mine. He wants to invest a couple more thousand. Cool, let's go to lunch. I prospect the server because I'm also trying to recruit my investment clients. So might as well prospect the server and show him how it's done, right? Prospect the server, Duran. I called him within 48 hours. When I prospected the server, this is what I said. I waited until we got the check. But throughout the whole time we're sitting, I'm just interviewing him, right? I'm asking him questions like, how are you from? Are you from the area? Oh, why did you move here? Oh, for school. Do you go to Howard? Oh, yeah, because Howard's around the corner. HU, Shay. So he said, yeah, how did you know? I'm studying theater. I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. A lot of theater backgrounds do really well with us. How long have you been working here? He goes, oh, just a year. And I'm like, oh, okay. Are you keeping your options open for better work at all? Yeah, absolutely. What do you do? I go, well, we don't work in theater, but we use a lot of scripts, which a lot of theater backgrounds do very well learning. They learn so fast because of that transference of skills that we can use with them. We work with families. I don't know if you like helping people. He goes, no, I would definitely want to hear about it. Called him within 48 hours, invited him to the webinar the next day, did the follow-up immediately. He went to the 2 o'clock webinar. I did the follow-up at 3:30. Okay, listen, we did the follow-up at 3:30, immediately after his 2 o'clock webinar. And then he did the orientation that night, 9 p.m., which was Wednesday night. So that was my personal prospect. I got that person myself because I also wanted to win the day. So I wanted to make sure I got the prospect in for the activity. Now, the other personal recruit that I got, or not personal recruit, I apologize. The recruit I got was an IBA that I recruited for my client, who is also a recruit. So I recruited Chrissy, who's a client. So follow me here. Let me draw this out because this could get confusing. I know I'm talking fast, guys, but hopefully you're keeping up and writing your questions down. So Chrissy, she's been a client for a year. And I met her through a training appointment. 1 year later, I followed up, right? So I sent a birthday text. This is my go-to all the time to follow up with my clients. I sent a birthday text. Now, just to let you guys know, how do I keep track with everybody's birthdays? Well, in the morning, every morning, I have repeated birthdays. So today I'm going to send out at least 2 text messages, right? One to my client Latoya for her son Javon, and one for my client Tanisha for her son Jalen's birthday, right? This is repeated every single year. This is how I get notifications and keep track of my clients. My clients are like, oh my God, you never miss our birthdays. I text her happy birthday to her son, and Chrissy, she ends up telling me she's ready to do her investments. I do a follow-up carryback, right? I recruited her. And then once I recruited her, I put her in orientation, and then I did her fast start meeting. In her fast start meeting, we did a 3-way text, right? One of them was to her sister, Charisma. And I called the sister, and that was last 2 Fridays ago, I called her. And Saturday morning was the next day. So I invited her to training. So I invited Charisma to training. I did the follow-up immediately after training. And then I did the orientation and fast start meeting again with Charisma. I did 2 work sessions before we did her IBA because she couldn't do her IBA until yesterday. So we just submitted the IBA yesterday. But think about what I just did. Everything was within 24 to 48 hours that I did as a process. As soon as I met Charisma, everything was within 24 to 48 hours. I'm going to do the work sessions because we need the 3-way text sent out anyways, so that I can book out the next week. If the IBA can't go into the next week, that's fine. I'll book everything for the next week for her. So by the time we submit our IBA, we've got a couple of appointments and guests booked out. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's how I recruited Charisma for Chrissy. I mixed up my slides, guys. So I was talking about this one. Sorry about that. But the IBA that I did for Chrissy, that was called tap rooting. Okay. So think about a tree. Most people are so good at getting directs, but they're not good at building deep, right? And I wouldn't say I'm great at building deep yet, but you know, if you get the concept, this will help you more do it. So if you think about a tree trunk, right? Excuse my drawing. Haha. And you think about the roots that are underneath the tree. If you think about a tree with roots like this, those are your directs, right? But if you start looking at how many roots are underneath those roots, how much stronger does the tree stand, right? That's what your business has to eventually look like. Building and recruiting, tap rooting for your Chrissy, for your direct, so that her business is just as strong and you have a stable business or a strong business, right? I invited the recruit to the sister to training, did fast start meeting, work sessions, kept her plugged in, Saturday morning training, submitted her IBA. So my second direct for the week, I recruited my client. I wrote the client up, and this was Sharonda, my client, who I actually prospected. So the client that I just talked about, the first $73 app, this one right here, guys, from Facebook, that Facebook prospect, Shay, also became a recruit the same week. So I went to see Sharonda on Monday, on Zoom, Monday. And just Thursday, I recruited her 4 days later. So I wrote her up, I invited her to the webinar. She attended the webinar and we did the carryback for her investment, did her investments, and then we did her IBA. She had already seen the webinar, put her in orientation, and then fast start meeting. So everything is repetitive, as you can see, a pattern. But hold your questions to the end, guys. Hopefully that helped. Shay, over to you.
That was really good. Your drawings are amazing. The tree with the roots, that was really good. I want to touch on a couple of things though. You said you was talking about picking up the phone after you send messages. That is so important because during the pandemic, you all, we are so used to just sending out messages. Oftentimes I have to tell people on our team, they say they didn't respond to the message. No. Pick up the phone. If this is your warm market and you're just simply sending a text, they've got to hear your voice. You understand that? You got to pick up the phone, Gabby. You got to pick up the phone, Ramon. Just sending a message is not enough. Oh, I sent the message, they didn't respond. Okay, well, call them. Hey, did you get my message? How are you? All is well? Pick up the phone, you all. They got to hear your voice, right? The whole texting and the messaging thing, that's just like warming it up. That's just like an introduction. I'm getting ready to call you. I'm getting ready to hit you up. I need a favor, right? So you want to pick up the phone and you call. It's more personal, right? A lot of, I've been getting a lot of text messages over the past month due to my father passing. It's nothing like somebody picking up the phone. It's nothing like somebody picking up the phone, praying for you, not sending it through a text messages, right? I know that's kind of different, but it's still personal, you all. You gotta pick up the phone. We're so used to texting and sending messages. No. Pick up that phone and talk to the person that you sent the message to. That's important. 24 to 48 hours when you recruit someone. This is the difference between an IBA and a successful recruit, right? A lot of the times we get an IBA, we get excited. Okay, but did you get them in the field within 24 to 48 hours? Did you get someone underneath them within 24 to 48 hours? This is an area that Top Notch has got to strengthen, right? We got to get someone underneath them as soon as possible, 24 to 48 hours, and we got to get them in the field. If we're not doing that, like Jen said, that's a big piece of the puzzle, because if they don't see action fast, they're going to get discouraged. They're going to get uninspired. They're going to say, oh, it doesn't work. No, and that's not what it is. It does work. We just got to make sure we do that. Clients are 50% recruited. Listen, I'm telling y'all, right? That's a West Coast play right there.